Well, I'm at the wilderness boundary in the missions here. I've been hiking for, oh gosh, about 45 minutes. I'm headed to Hemlock Lake, and boy, coming out of the gate, it's kind of a grueling climb. Right out of the gate, which I guess is good, gets it over with, but boy, reminds me a lot of the trail up to Moon, the first part of the trail up to Moon in the Beartooth. It's quite a little bit of a slog. This is a burn area that burned in 2003, and you can see the forest is recovering nicely. What we're doing here is there's a basin over here, a creek basin, and we're popping over this shoulder here. That's why the climb. I think we're dropping over ahead, and I think we're headed somewhere up that way. And that's all I know for now. It's the first time I've ever been in here. This is a little bit better. So once you're up on top, it moderates quite a bit. The climb does. I think we're headed over this way. I think the lake's over in here somewhere, but then again, I could be pointing to Langley, Virginia, for all I know. I think we're headed right straight ahead somewhere. All right, I'm about 3.3 miles into this. This below is the lake's outlet stream that I've got to cross. On the other side, up in here somewhere, there should be a trail junction with one going up to North Hemlock Lake, and then there should be a spur off to my left that goes up to the lake. Should only be about 0.3 of a mile below the lake. So here's our lake in the missions. I don't know, it's about 10:15, 10:20. Well, I'm telling you, it took me all of 2 hours to get in here. It's a pretty good hike in here. A lot of people here too. We have 3 parties that I can see. One down by the outlet. We got an illegal campsite here next to the water. Although there's nobody there, it looks like that group is over here fishing. I have seen a few rises out here. I had hoped to avoid using my waders, but I think I'm gonna have to probably. Boy, he's a nice guy. There he goes. So I've managed to kind of get in position here. There's some semi-deep water that comes in close to shore. There's a fish hanging out in here. This looks like a good spot. We'll see if I can entice him with one of these chironomids. So once again, the basic technique is just to cast it out, and you can either move it, or if you've got a little bit of breeze like we do, you can let the breeze move it. Now I've had a couple of them knock the strike indicator. I've had 3 or 4 of them do that, so it suggests that they might take a dry fly too, like an ant or something maybe I'll try later. Well, it's about 12:30 on Sunday, July 28th. I just missed one. Fishing's kind of been slow. I just had a grab and wasn't paying attention, so I missed him. Fishing's been kind of slow. Most of the people have cleared out, though, which is interesting. So I'm going to make a few more casts in here, and then I'm going to have some lunch, and I'm thinking about switching over to an ant. We'll see. These fish are sort of aggressive. There's a nice little, this point here looks really good, and there's some fish rising over here. They're taking the chironomids, but then when I miss them, I don't know, they're gone for good. So pretty lake though, very pretty lake. All right, well, I've hooked one. Another nice west slope. Moved over here off to this point, and looks like he hooked him on the Black Sally again, which is what the first one took. So there's a nice, good drop off in here. I think this was planted in 15, so I think this is probably a 4-year-old, I think. He's a pretty fish. It's a nice west slope. And he's been hooked before too, because I get a bonus fly apparently. And there he goes. He's gone. Well, it's a little after 1. I just had lunch, and it could just be me. This place got real quiet. I saw a couple people. They may have packed out. Somebody else came in and was over by the outlet for a little bit. And then she left. I think it was a she. And I don't hear or see anybody. The people that were camped here, they broke camp a few hours ago and left. I may have this thing all to myself. The fish in here are nice fish. They generally, what I see is if they're cruising along this shelf here, they'll take the chironomid, but I don't see a lot of them cruising. That's the thing. I see them out in deep water, a few rises in deep water. Occasionally I see some rises here, but the cruisers in here are real sporadic, and I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure if that's something about this lake. They stock it, so I wouldn't think it's a population issue unless they have a low stocking density or something, but pretty lake. Supposed to have a good population of fish. But yeah, fishing's been okay. Nothing great. I've caught 3, missed another one. So it's a little bit before 3 p.m. I'm starting to hike out, and I'm right below the lake, maybe 100, 200 yards. And across the valley are the Swan Mountains. That's the Swan Mountain Range. In back of those mountains is the Bob Marshall Wilderness and the legendary South Fork of the Flathead. Okay, so we're coming out. So I'm contouring, the trail kind of contours this this shoulder here that separates Hemlock Creek from whatever this is, and it kind of goes, and then what we'll do is over here we hit that ridge. The trail goes over and hits that ridge, and then it goes down and eventually pops over that shoulder, kind of right there, down in there somewhere. So if you look close, you can kind of see the roads down there. So we still got a good ways. We still got over 2 miles to go. In the distance, of course, we got the Swan Range again. In the distance, if you look kind of center, is one of the Holland Lakes. It's probably the the big Holland Lake, the lower one. But it's, yeah, pretty magnificent views up here. But boy, coming out, you know, it's all downhill, but boy, this is because of this burn. It's all hot, and you know, it is what it is. So, okay, I didn't think it could get better, but the view does get better. Very scenic up here, which is good because the fishing is just average. I mean, I caught some nice fish, but the catching was slow. Okay, coming down, I'm getting kinda, sort of, near the end of the trail. You can see that's the main road, kind of down there. That's the main trunk road coming in. And then there's the trailhead. Right there. So the good news is the trailhead's in sight. I don't know what that is. The bad news is I bet we still got a good mile to go.